Hi guys! So today we are not drawing Dr. Nefarious. I know, shocking. But surprisingly, I'm also a huge fan of Jak and Daxter games. So I was thinking about making an OC to this universe, but then I was like, okay, the OC needs a story, so I started crafting a story and I crafted something in the shape of Jak 4 ideas, I guess? I don't know, I just wanted to share it with you guys. So I was thinking, if I were to make a continuation of Jak 3, what would I do? I would put Daxter back into the title, of course. It might sound like a joke, but it's not, because I would love to have more Daxter-focused levels. I mean, we already got some in Jak 3 and they were cool, and Daxter got his own solo game and it was great, so why not? So what I would do? I would separate Daxter from Jak. Of course, not for the entirety of the game, but hear me out. So imagine Jak and Daxter are separated. For example, Daxter is kidnapped by some guys who sell rare endangered animals, and he's a talking Otso. He is a precursor, but it can be any other reason. And Jak can't just go and rescue him because plot. I mean, there might be a different city attacking Haven and Spargus or something like that. I mean, there are wars all the time in this universe, so why not? Or maybe they got into an argument and Jak doesn't know that Daxter was kidnapped. He thinks that Daxter just went off and stormed off in rage or something like that. And I would actually love Jak to realize that without Daxter, he's like without a head. Because Daxter may seem like an annoying sidekick who just talks big, but actually he tells you where to go, he tells you what to do, he reminds you of the game mechanics. So without him, Jak would be like, where are my keys? Where are my socks? Where's everything? What was I supposed to do? What date it is? And I would love to have like few throwaway lines that they grew up together in Sandover Village as the only kids there, them and Kira. And maybe tell us if Daxter is an orphan too, and maybe they just grew up together and were like brothers for each other all this time. I mean, just give us something about the relationship. Come on, guys, I want the feels. Give me the feels. Okay, so we have Jak without Daxter in the city, so he has his Grand Theft Auto game mechanics, so he's still stealing cars, there's war, there's gunfighting, stuff like that. Stuff that we know from Jak 2 and Jak 3. Races and stuff like that. But Daxter, on the other hand, he has to get out of the place where he's kept or something, and he has to get back home. So his levels are in the spirit of the first Jak and Daxter game, the Precursor Legacy. How? I'm glad you asked. So Daxter needs to get out of the place where he's kept and get back home, but it's a long way. So he finds himself in like a room with many artifacts that the people who stole him stole before, and he runs into a medallion, the one I'm drawing in the background. And the medallion is magical, it has a spirit kept inside, and the spirit says to Daxter, "Come on, dude, take me with you, and if you free me, I will help you get back home, and I will grant you 3 wishes or something." It might lie, why not? And Daxter doesn't see the other way out, because he's like back to the corner by the enemies and stuff, and he's like, well, help might be nice. So he takes the medallion, and the spirit inside can use eco just like Jak in the first game could. And also, we can collect dark eco just like Jak can, and instead of turning into Dark Jak, we have this dark eco attack that we can use against our enemies. So there's that. So in the background you can see me designing the medallion and the way Daxter would wear it. I wanted to make it in the way that while you play as Daxter, you can see the medallion. You can see if it's charged and what color of eco it's charged with. and the spirit would talk to Daxter. I was thinking about the spirit possessing Daxter's shadow, so his shadow is talking to him. It could be pretty funny, I think. I mean, the spirit would still be inside of the gem, inside of the medallion, that it would use the dark eco that we collected to do these things. Daxter could argue with his own shadow about stuff. And I just think it might lead to some funny scenes. But you may ask, what spirit is actually kept inside the medallion? And here's where my OC comes in. And there are actually two versions of this OC. Hear me out. So my character, who doesn't have a name, I'm just now realizing. Drop your name suggestions in the comments, I guess. Many years ago, she used to be a green eco sage. I mean, we are in the far-off future, and she was a green sage even before Samus. Or maybe right before him. So life was good, life was great for her in Sandover Village. She lived there, she studied and used green eco, she was very powerful, she was loved and respected by other folks. She was friends with other sages, stuff like that. And it was before Gol and Maya started mingling with dark eco too. She had a husband and a baby, and life was good, life was great. She was using green eco to heal land and talk to plants and all the stuff that Samus used to do, I guess. I honestly don't know what he was doing. Was he earning money for a living? And why did he use Daxter, a kid, to clean up his mess? Was Daxter an orphan too? Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's rewind a little. So, she's studying green eco, she has a family, she's happy. So her design, she basically lives next to the sea on the beach, so there's a tropical climate, so it's really warm, and ladies in Jak and Daxter honestly don't like to wear a lot of clothes. We can all agree on that. So she has this tribal inspired ancient look to her clothes. Maybe a little Aztec-y, Mayan, something like that. I mean, the first thing that I designed and that I knew that I want her to have were her braids ended with these hoops things. I don't know how she put them on, but I was like, I want a character who can float and have her braids float with her. I like it, okay? Don't judge me, it's just an aesthetic thing. As you can see, I was working on her design before I designed the medallion, and she has the variations and the first drafts of the medallion on her, while she is still a green sage. And maybe some of you noticed her hair color. It's not significant at all, it's not a hint towards anything. Her hair color that probably her baby maybe inherited after her. It's just her hair color. It's greenish, bluish, that hair color. Moving on. While designing her, I really didn't want to go too far into the plants design way that Samus have, because I wanted her to fit both the first game and the sequels design-wise, and going too cartoony would not fit the darker tone of the sequels. And I clearly don't want us players to get to know her story just from the exposition or from her just talking to Daxter. I mean, she can drop hints or something like that. But I was thinking that maybe when we encounter Light Eco in the game, playing as Daxter with the medallion with her spirit inside, we can get transported into the flashback, into the memory, like in the Chamber of Secrets while using Tom Riddle's diary, something like that. And we can walk through the memories, just a thought like that, and maybe collect something, even some kind of a rare collectible. Or maybe we even get to play as her there. We have to move through these memories and do some stuff, use the eco powers, like in Assassin's Creed. You have to play through the memory to unlock it or something like that. And later you get the entire story, the entire backstory. You have actually three stories. You have Jack's story with the war or something in the game, you have Daxter's story of trying to get back, and you have her backstory. And all of these three stories will later in the game come together into one big story. Okay, so yeah, she lived in the Sandover village, she had a family, she was a green sage, and life was great. Then Samos appears, and when he shows off his green sage powers, they might start working together. People might get used to him and even believe him that he's from the future or something. And she might even start helping Samos with raising Jack. Because why not? She has a child, she can relate. But that's only the first half of her story, being the green eco sage. Because when you're a fictional character, you can't have nice things. So, because of some kind of accident, or maybe storm at the sea, or an animal attack or something, her husband dies. And her green eco powers are not enough to heal him. He's dead, okay? And she goes depressed. She has a child and she just lost the love of her life. So she's deep in sorrow. And she starts to look for the solutions, look for different ways to maybe help herself. But she knows that eco is what created life on this planet, that it's what sustains life in this planet. So she's like, maybe it can bring life back. I mean, she knows how to use green eco to save plants, and she knows how other sages are using eco. And she ignores all the warnings, mostly from Samos, of course, and she starts meddling with dark eco, because she sees how the dark eco changed Gol and Maya, because they already started to do stuff with it, but not on the scale that we see in the first game. They're just tipping their toes into it. But she sees that Maya gets her life force back. She's getting younger and prettier, and she's like, maybe dark eco can change the fate's design, save what has been lost, bring back what once was mine. Maybe she can bring back the dead! So she starts working with dark eco, and it starts affecting her look and her behavior too. Her skin goes gray and dull, her eyes go darker, and she starts to avoid sun and light. That's why she's more modestly dressed. I mean, have you noticed how many times when a character turns evil, especially female characters, she starts wearing more revealing clothes and be more sexualized? So I'm thinking I'm gonna reverse it. When she was good, she was exposing more skin, but now she hides in the shadows and she just likes to wear more clothes, cover more skin, because she doesn't want sun to touch her. That vitamin D, it doesn't flow with dark eco, sorry, no. So she realizes that if she wants all the power, she needs to open the dark eco silos, the same one that Gol and Maya tried to open in the first game. And actually Gol and Maya are the only people that support her. They share their findings with each other, and they actually experiment together, and it's getting pretty out of hand and dangerous. So other sages notice that, especially Samos. But Our Lady does not listen to him. She's gonna open that silos, and it's final. See what I did there? She just wants her husband back. She doesn't even notice her child anymore because she's so fixated in that one goal. And of course, using dark eco doesn't help with that mindset. So her actions start getting out of hand. She starts getting pretty dangerous, and other sages decide that the only thing they can do, because they all tried to reason with her, they all tried to warn her, they all tried to talk to her, to talk her out of it. Well, Gol and Maya just pretended that they did because they're just like, fingers crossed, girl, do that, we wanna watch. And other sages are like, okay, she needs to be stopped. So they all get together and they prepare a trap for her. And once she is in the trap, they use all of their collective powers with all types of eco mixing together, and they trap her spirit inside of the medallion. And that's how she got there. And they like took the medallion and they hid it somewhere, but of course after Metalhead Wars, most of the land turned into the desert, and some wastelanders just found the medallion and sell it as part of the jewelry. But when Daxter finds the medallion, and he's a precursor, he was touched by Dark Eco, he grabs the medallion, and that's how he awakened the spirit of the Dark Witch inside of it. So now she's helping him out to find his way home, in the hope that he's gonna set her free. She knows that many years passed and that probably resurrecting her love is not gonna happen anymore. But she wants to know what happened to her child, she wants to know what happened to the world, and maybe have her revenge. So fast forward to the moment where Jak and Daxter are reunited, and they somehow free the witch. Maybe they actually have an argument about Jak doesn't want Daxter to free the witch, but Daxter owes her to be freed. And it turns out that when she's freed, she goes on a revenge spree because she has a grudge against Samus, and how dare he be still alive? How dares he? So she goes on a revenge spree. She actually creates enemies for us to fight, new enemies that you can see me draw in the background. They are kind of resurrected people, like they are zombies, they're zombie-like, but they're made of eco. They're like the eco of the people that used to live. Get it? An eco made out of dark eco. Yeah. They're just a type of enemies like metalheads, and they're called Nameless. So now we have to fight against her. And of course, Jak and Daxter's relationship is gonna be fixed, blah blah blah. They have to stop the Dark Witch from destroying the world, basically. Or mostly from killing Samos, because that's her focus right now. And later we learn what happened to her child. And you know what happened? Samos took the child as his own. And that's Kira. Kira is the daughter of the Dark Witch. And she might be the only person capable of stopping her from destroying the world. Because I had this problem, like, it is canon that Kira is only 1 year younger than Jak. So there is no way that with the time travel, where Samos and young Jak travel into the past, there's no way that Kira is actually biologically the daughter of Samos. So I'm like, let's play with that. Let's make Samos into a notorious child snatcher. Like, he took Kira in. She's not his actual daughter, and maybe he took her in and realized that, well, having 2 kids is too much work, and he has a friend in the Sandover village, and that friend is Jak's uncle, who's actually not his uncle, but he's just a friend of Samos who helps him raise Jak while Samos focuses on raising Kira. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So that's basically it. So will our heroes be able to save Samos and basically the world from the Dark Witch? Or maybe only Kira will be able to stop her mother. Maybe we all have to work together. Maybe we really need Jak 4, and I'm so desperate here that I'm writing fan fiction. Help! So anyway, let me know if you like my ideas in the comments section, and just take care and see you in another video. Bye!